Alright, we're back. I went on a scavenger hunt for about an hour and a half, so it's now 11:30. Otherwise known as Tatro's Junkyard Swap Meet. So, I'm going to pick up a few used axles. There's one new axle. A used one. Play with. Found a top motor mount without the ugly bracket attached. It is chrome. Yeah. I found another nut, so I gotta see if that's any better than the one that's on there for up there. Sportster axle spacer, and then a Timken bearing I needed for the back here. Missing one. Found one. And I also found the Big Twin swingarm stash. So I pulled out one of the ones that are all used up. So they're all pretty well used up through here. So I haven't pulled out a bunch of new ones yet to modify. But I might use a drum brake one. I haven't decided yet. So that's still up in the air. I have a bunch of new swing arms. I can cut the back legs off, back ends off, and then weld them on top of there. I don't have to make them. It's not like I can sell them for anything. Somebody wants that 80s and 90s stupid ass swing arms for Big Twins. Probably just a bunch of FXR and road turd shit. Yeah, case is broken. Didn't see that before. Hidden behind the cover. Surprise, surprise. All kinds of hidden surprises. Anyway, I found a set of control units here. Right and left. Soft tail style kickstand, which probably won't work on this bike. They hang down too low. Yeah, way too low. Let's see if that fits. I found another inner primary, a black one. This one is not supposed to be made right, I recall. Found a stock T-bar for the seat. And then I got a stash of crap on the floor over here. Found me a nose cone to use besides that ugly ass chrome one. So this one's pretty nice on the inside. Bushings look good. It's a 70A, so it's shovelhead. It's very corroded on that side, but I don't care about that side. A couple of different kickers. A couple of ignition modules. Got a compensator and a crane. I gotta see if I got the back piece for them. I think I have one floating around. I'll have to see. Another exhaust bracket. This one has a wheel on it. Found a fender set. Don't think I need that, but just grab it just in case. There's two kicker arms. Original crappy looking pedal like everybody likes these days, patinaed. Panhead parts we don't need right now. A couple more kicker legs, and here's a kicker cover that's not chrome. This looks like an 80s, stock Harley 80s version. Got the square nut in it. And I found a clutch arm that wasn't damaged. The other one on the bike was all worn out. So, and there's a shift link in here that might be modified for what we need. There's an inner. Oh, I think I needed that. That damn thing. There's a primary brace. And there's a speedometer cable there for. I don't have a drive unit yet. There's a bunch of chrome crap we're not going to use. I also found 2 or 3 Softail FXWG4 controls I could put on the bike, but I didn't particularly want to use those. Now this looks like something that's been modified for an FX application to make it work. It does look like it might work. Sure is butt ugly though. I don't think much of that. It's terrible looking. I like the FL one where it goes down low out of the way. You don't see it. It goes boom, boom, boom like it's supposed to. Just got to change out the lid. No biggie. Alright, so a few parts. Parts and pieces. They're cloning all over the place. Alright, well, I didn't grab my handlebars yet either. I had those stashed away for a couple of years now. think I showed them before. No, not that set. This set here. Inline, yep. And then a more stock set, which I don't particularly want to use. These are vintage, used. So these ones you take and cut up and do whatever you want with, because they're all damaged in here. So if I wanted to make a set of ape hanger bike bars or some mild apes, this is the set that you would cut up to do it with. So the disadvantage of both of these is that they have inner controls, which we don't have. So we probably won't use these. But they're good enough to roll around on. Give me something to work with. And they'll tell me if the darn fork is damaged up here or if it's actually good. First, I want to find out about that nut right there. Okay, that other one up there is 17 and 16. Aha, look at that. 237. We got a winner. Oh, that looks almost like it fits. Unlike that piece of crap that doesn't fit anything. Okay. And it's a little taller. Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, that is real bad. That's going to be a problem. So it doesn't fit. Fits one way, does not fit the other way. Got you coming and going. Oh, look at that. Yeah, like it goes on there like it's supposed to. What's that stupid cap nut thing they had? This piece of crap. It goes on there like that. Alright. Okay. Looking better already. I bet those are extremely uncomfortable. If I sit back low enough and far enough, it probably won't be too bad. Alright, let's see. Where is my big plate? And a 5/8. Don't pull the bike, it'll pull over. They got tighter. Imagine that. Okay, we're not doing full put together here, we're just doing lock up, so we don't need to torque the piss out of everything. We are tightening it. You never know how long that lock-up might be for. Yeah, I'm going to put a tree. Tight now. Pretty tight. Where you got to move it. Makes it easier to lock up. The fork doesn't fall over while you put stuff on it. Alright, there you go. It's better already. Big improvement over the original bike. If you want a piece of chrome crap, I got one. You can weld risers to it, not to worry about damaging it. No damage required. Okay. Let's see here. It looks so much better. Look at that. Oh, it doesn't even hit. Look at that. It might hit a gas tank though. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty close for a 3.5. Yeah, those are, if the bars don't hit the tanks, your hand sure to hell will. So that's going to have to be like a Sportster gas tank for those bars, the way they are right now. Maybe that's why they didn't use them. They didn't fit very well. Could be. Okay, so we need to get the primary down here figured out. A couple other things. So, when you take the inner primary off, you have to have a support bearing put in here. So they make a primary support bearing for this application. That will do the trick. Now, this is supposed to be made wrong. So let's see if it is. Just like a glove. Looks alright to me. Looks like an application error. Okay, all these studs here need to be out of there. This is our support plate. Right here. Bearing's over in the box over there. We'll leave the bearing off right now, makes it easier to do our mock-up. So we determine how we're going to do this. I'm thinking bolts. Okay. Looks like it'll just clear. There's no way you can run a nut with a seal on it. You're too close. That has no seal on it. So if you run this all up against the tranny with no spacers, you're not going to be using that. Next problem is the inner primary hits on everything. So you can see how studs are out. And I think bolts will clear. We can run bolts, so just no studs. Or if we do run studs, we got to run short studs. You can run studs, you just got to run short studs. Can't run full-size studs. So we need shorter studs for bolts. Now, seeing how we're not going to be doing anything here, it matters. Bolts would be fine. The only problem is down here. This one has an oil leak right here. So we should put a stud in there and Loctite the piss out of it with sealer and whatever else you can do to make that thing not leak. If you got a bolt in there, every time that bolt moves, it's going to piss oil out of it. Of course, things like to piss oil anyway. So for now, it's going to pull the studs out. So that just requires two 3/8 nuts and jam them together and pull them out. What if we got anyone floating around here? Probably not. Nope. Be too easy. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, we're back. I've got a bunch of stuff. Press the bearing in there so I know where it's going to sit. Got to make sure it goes all the way on without bottoming out. I'm not sure if that is actually going on there without bottoming out. I think it is. Close though. Alright. So we got two 3/8 nuts. 4 inches. know if you ever noticed yet, but everything I'm doing on this bike is pretty much what you can be doing at home. Including my fancy lift here. Just using blocks of wood. You don't need a $300 lift over here to do this kind of stuff, see? Not one of those $80 Harbor Freight ones either. Yeah, they're junk. I think wood's better. So all this stuff here, no fancy pullers, just a couple little nuts. Put them out of my junk box. All this stuff is relatively easy to do. We will be doing more fancy stuff down the road, but for now, this is all just simple mock-up stuff. Come in with kind of a plan of what you want to do and be flexible. So when things like this don't work, you just work around them. That one's tight. There it goes. So I don't have a shortened stud to use, so I'm just going to take the stud that's already here and just cut one down. So I tighten the wrenches up and I tighten and loosen with the same closed action instead of doing that pulling apart crap where you hurt yourself. It's all about how you use your wrenches. Put your wrench there, put this one over here. Squeeze to pull them together. With one hand, see? Just like that. Try to do it. There it goes. You unscrew with the first nut on the back side, you tighten the one on the outside. Otherwise, when you're torquing on, you're trying to unscrew what you just did. Once you break it free, you can go to the outer nut that's easier to get to. Openings come handy for a lot of stuff like this. They flip the flux around. Now for taking it off, just do the opposite. Just put it on there. Take the wrench. Instead of being on this side torquing, you go on this side over here and you loosen. Boom. Simple, huh? Alright. I'm not sure what bolt I can use. I don't know how deep this goes in, so I need to find that out. This determines how much I cut the stud off. Goes in there pretty deep. Goes in there that far. Went in there this deep from head to head. That's the same bolt that's in there. That's how much longer. That's almost an inch of thread in that training case. So that leaves a lot. So where's our hex head we're using? So this is the stud we're going to use. And you can see how we have lusted an inch worth of thread in there. So that means we can reuse the same stud, just going deeper. Which gives us more sealing power to hold it in. I'm about to go get some Loctite because I'm bringing Loctite. I'm going to get some brake clean also to clean the hole out because you can't have oil on the stud. See, it's got an oil trail. You can see how deep it is. See That's how much length was in the case. Okay, it's close, but we got enough room to go that deep. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go find me some stuff here. Now, something I didn't check yet was the height. We're not gonna be able to use a stud and a nut, or at least not a full nut. Definitely can't use a washer. Here's the problem. That sticks up above the height of what we got. Use a nut. No washer. Maybe that'll work. Let's find out. Get a flat surface. See what you got to work with. So we got a lot of clearance, see? We have no clearance. So this one can only have a nut on it and nothing else, unless we shave it down. This one we got room. Or you can have a bolt and either a lock washer or a flat washer, but not both. This one here, we're on top of it. So if I want to put a lock nut on there like I wanted, so make sure it doesn't fall off, and a washer, then we're going to have to shorten it up by a good 1/4 inch. So it appears that we have plenty of room material here. We can go a 1/4 inch deeper and recess it inside of this plate. And we got plenty of room. Assuming we have to. I'm not sure if we have to yet. It looks like we can also run long bolts if we want to. I like running long bolts instead of short bolts because we have a lot of length we can use. So that's why I bought 2 different lengths of bolts. Okay, so we're going to do a mock-up here and see if the primary will clear and how much clearance we have. Maybe we don't have to cut it deeper, but I bet you we do. That'll be the first special thing we're going to have to do. Yes, I have done that before for different applications. Okay, that went all the way in. Pretty sure we're hitting the bearing. Tight spot in there. So let's put a feeler gauge down in there and see if you actually are hitting. It is so close in there. I don't see any way you wouldn't be hitting. See, the nut looks like it's going to rub on the back side of it. So we just have no clearance at all in there. So we're going to have to put a washer underneath here to move it out to give us a little clearance in there. See if we got room. So here's our inner primer we're going to use. Oh yeah. We got room. Good. Lots of room. Let's go ahead and put these in there and see how they fit. Okay. So I'll push this all the way until it's tight. You can see we got a pretty good gap here. This can recess out quite a bit. And you can see how the bolts right there have a lot of clearance. So I don't think we're going to have a problem with the bolts hitting, and the stud would probably just make it. If it hits on it a little bit, I just hit a primary cover right around here a little bit on the outside and dimple it a little bit, and it'll have plenty of room. The next problem is I don't know if we're going to be able to clear a belt drive on here, because I don't have a belt drive on here yet. That'll be the next problem. So I am going to move this cover out one washer, and I'm going to put the stud in there, shorten the stud up, and try to not have to cut anything. I think we got enough room to do it, but it's going to be tight, so we'll see. All right, stick with me some Loctite and brake clean. Be right back.